the glass half full. The sound of rain against the window was soft that night, almost too gentle for the storm inside me. I remember the tablecloth more than the meal. White linen, stained by the Merlot she'd spilled hours earlier, the scent of roasted rosemary chicken still lingering in the air. My son Daniel sat across from me, quiet, exhausted, his face folded in worry, and beside him my daughter-in-law Emily, with her trembling glass of wine. "Just one more," she'd said, her voice small but already slurred around the edges. I hesitated, bottle in hand. I'd never been a woman who liked scenes, but that night something in me hardened. Or maybe it finally broke. "No," I said softly, setting the bottle down. "You've had enough, Emily." Her eyes lifted to me, green, sharp and wet. The kind of eyes that had once looked at me like I was family. Now they looked at me like I was her enemy. "What's enough to you, Margaret?" she snapped. "Enough pretending, enough judgment." Daniel reached for her hand. "Em, please." But she pulled away, laughing, a fragile, bitter sound that clung to the room like fog. "You think I don't see it?" she said, voice rising. "You judging me for every sip, every choice, every mistake. You think I don't hear the way you sigh when I forget the salt or when I'm late to dinner? You've been waiting for me to fail." Her words cut deeper than I wanted to admit, because maybe somewhere in my silence, she wasn't wrong. "I'm trying to help," I whispered. "No," she said. "You're trying to control." The clock ticked loudly. Outside, thunder rolled like judgment. Daniel stood, his face pale. "We're leaving," he said, voice breaking. Emily pushed her chair back so hard it screeched across the tile. The glass of wine tipped over, spilling red across the white linen, a bleeding wound between us. I didn't chase after them. I just stood there, my hand still gripping the bottle I'd refused to pour, and that's how it began. The long silence that would nearly tear our family apart. What we refused to say. It had been 4 months since that dinner. 4 months since I'd heard Daniel's voice outside of a birthday text. 4 months since Emily had stopped sending me pictures of their little girl, Lily. My granddaughter, my sunlight. The silence was worse than anger. Anger means someone still cares. Silence means they've learned to live without you. Every morning I sat at the kitchen window and watched the world go on. Mothers walking strollers, mailmen waving hello, neighbors laughing over fences. I'd made this house my sanctuary once. Now it felt like a shrine to everything I'd lost. My husband, Charles, used to say, "Pride and love can't share a table, Margaret. One always eats the other." The night the storm returned. 2 weeks later, I got the call. Daniel's voice was tight, brittle. "Mom, can you come? It's Emily. She's in the hospital." The drive felt endless. Rain smeared the windshield. Headlights streaking through tears. I didn't even realize I was crying. When I walked into that white, sterile room, Emily was asleep, tubes running from her arms, her face pale but peaceful. Daniel sat beside her, holding her hand like it was his lifeline. "What happened?" I whispered. He swallowed. "She fainted. Her liver, the doctor said it's been under strain. She's been drinking again, quietly hiding it." The words hit like thunder, sharp, cruel, inevitable. Guilt is a funny thing. It doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps, it whispers. If you had just loved her better, if you hadn't judged, if you'd poured that wine and asked her why she needed it, instead of why she shouldn't. When Emily woke, she smiled faintly. "Guess I scared you all," she joked weakly. I sat down beside her, took her cold hand in mine. "No more hiding, sweetheart, promise me." She nodded, tears leaking from the corners of her eyes. "I don't want Lily to see me like this," she whispered. I want to be enough." "You already are," I said, my own tears falling freely. "You always were. I just didn't say it enough." That night I stayed at the hospital. I hummed the same lullaby I used to sing to Daniel when he was a boy, my hand resting gently on Emily's. When morning came, the storm had passed. Outside, the world was washed clean. What love leaves behind. It's been 3 years since that night. Emily recovered. It wasn't easy. Rehab, therapy, rebuilding trust, but she did it. She fought her way back to herself, to Daniel, to Lily. And somewhere along the way, I learned to let go. Of control, of judgment, of the silent pride that had kept me from truly seeing her. These days, Sundays look different. The house smells like laughter again. Emily brings fresh bread she bakes herself. Lily runs through the kitchen shouting, "Grandma, look what I made." And Daniel hums as he sets the table. Last Christmas, as we sat together by the fire, Emily handed me a small box. Inside was a glass pendant, deep red, shaped like a drop of wine. "I made it," she said softly. From melted glass bottles, broken things can become beautiful again. I couldn't speak. I just pulled her into my arms and we both cried. The kind of tears that wash old wounds clean. I still think of that night sometimes. The spilled wine, the sharp words, the silence that followed. But now, when I remember it, I see something different. I see the moment we all began to change, because sometimes love doesn't look like pouring another glass. Sometimes love looks like refusing, and then finding your way back to each other through the cracks that refusal creates. Epilogue. Grandma's unfiltered tears. Lily is 7 now. She asked me once, "Grandma, why do you cry when Mommy laughs?" I told her the truth. "Because I'm thankful," I said. "Because I almost lost her, and sometimes when people come back to you, it makes your heart overflow." She smiled, not quite understanding, but she kissed my cheek anyway. There's a bottle of wine still sitting on my shelf. The one Emily left that day she came to apologize. I never opened it, I never will. It stands there like a memory, a reminder that love isn't measured in the moments we get right, but in the courage to come back after the ones we don't. And when the evening light hits it just right, it glows like stained glass, a testament to everything broken, mended, and made beautiful again.